To have you here. Oh my goodness. We've got about 30 people already on the call. I'm so excited. It's so nice to see you all. Please feel free to turn your camera on if you want as well. I'd love to see you as we go through. And I'll just get my screen share going. So it's been a long time coming with this masterclass. So thank you so much for joining me. While I get my screen sharing going, if you want to just pop in the group chat where you're from and what you do creatively, I'd love to hear from you. And then I can also go back and hopefully give you a little follow if I haven't done already. Bear with me while I just get my screen all shared. Awesome. Perfect. This is my first time doing this, so bear with me while I get all of the things ready to go. Awesome. Everyone can see my screen. I think that's all good. Pop a thumbs up in the chat if you can see my screen. Perfect. Amazing. Awesome. Well, I am so excited to have you here. It is so exciting. I am going to share with you 3 secrets that I have learned over the last 8 years of building my art business and how it has helped me to go from a 9 to 5 job to doing my art on the side in any spare moment that I had. Sorry, I just skipped ahead a little bit there. To be able to quit my corporate job and take my art full time to a point that I am now earning more than double than I would be if I was working in that same corporate job. It's not all about money in the end, but I also now have the flexibility to work the hours that I want and for whatever best fits in with my family life. And I feel like my career progression isn't dependent on the types of work that my boss hands me. It's completely up to me, which has just been the biggest step for me, and the biggest win as well. Okay, so 10 reasons that you guys are all spending the night learning with me instead of doing something way, way more fun. You are probably wanting to quit your day job, but you don't know where to start. You're guessing your way through pricing and quotes. You feel ready to take some calculated risks in order to see the full potential of your business. You feel frustrated that your dream clients aren't coming to you for work. And you also want personal one-on-one advice to help grow your business and expand that business. You know who your dream client is, but you don't know how to find them or reach them. You send out your proposals and sometimes are being ghosted. And you are also at least about 1 year into your artistic business as well and ready to put in the time to take it to that next level. So I'm guessing it sounds like a bit of you because you're all joining me tonight, which is so awesome. But I thought I'd just start out by saying that the context of our conversation today is all about how we get out of this place where we feel really stuck or frustrated or like nothing we're trying is working in our creative businesses. Everything that I'll be sharing today is things that I've tested myself and that have worked in gaining me consistent clients and continue to help me grow as well. I want you to really feel that all of these baby steps are so, so doable and that they don't require you to even leave the house or spend lots of money doing it. There are absolutely no silly questions. So please save these for the end after a very exciting announcement, which I have teased a little bit. We'll have plenty of time for Q&A, and I've already got some pre-registered questions, which is really exciting. Cool. So if you do stay to the end, I would love to share with you my most exciting announcement, which is this course called Passion to Profession. And you'll all have the opportunity to enroll in it starting today. My door's open today, which is just a huge milestone for me. And if you stay to the end, I will also have a huge discount for you guys as well, which I'll let you in on in a little bit. Okay, cool. So let's be real for a second. The reality is that even just the idea of growing your business, whatever size it is, it can feel a little overwhelming, and you're definitely not alone. That's why we're all here tonight. It's the best part about jumping on here together and sharing these challenges. Some of them you're probably experiencing are you work your 9 to 5 job and you feel like your progression and salary increases are controlled by someone else. You're working so hard, but you're not getting the type of clients that you want to work with, which means that you're ultimately not earning what you want or deserve. And you feel like you've tried so many tips and tricks and are unsure of how to scale your artistic and creative business beyond that 1 to 2 year mark. These challenges stem from a place of passion and genuinely loving what you do as an artist. And I can totally relate to this. When I was about 1 to 2 years into side hustling my way through, these were some of the things that I desperately wanted myself. I really wanted to start living out my artistic dream and to make good enough money to quit my 9 to 5 job. I wanted to feel confident in securing steady clients and at the same time pricing them correctly so that I was being valued and also so that I wasn't missing out on potential work as well. I really wanted one easy process that honestly at the time didn't exist out there to find. As creatives, I think that we are just all so unique, which is amazing, but I think that it leaves some ambiguity out there for how we're to tackle our craft as a business. And I would have really killed to have someone walk through step by step everything with me and hold my hand. So tonight, the 3 big secrets I'm going to be spilling on are the fundamental ingredients that you need in your creative business. These are all the things that, in my experience, have been so key in growing my business and what has made my business last as long as it has, and the things that continue to also help grow it. The second secret that I'll be touching on is the ideal time blocking to earning more. We will work through some exercises to look at how you currently spend your time. There'll be no shame at all. We all have very different personal lives. And how, depending on where you are in your business, we'll look at how to split your time appropriately to grow your business in relation to that. The third thing will be how you can make your passion your superpower. And this is something that I am very passionate about. And I think that it is something that is so simple, that can be so fun and get you noticed by all of your dream clients. It also has the potential to give you virality on social media. Not necessarily that we chase that, but it is a plus. And also this keeps teasing your creative juices as well. My hope is that you walk away from this chat with 3 key things that can immediately be implemented into your business and start steering yourself to earning more cash and ultimately help you get to a point where you are able to quit your 9 to 5 job and to take your art or your creativity full time, which is just the ultimate dream for all of us. So I thought I'd start by telling you a little bit about me and my backstory if you don't already know it. I studied and worked in architecture for about 10 years. And about 7 years into that, I started doing art on the side, gradually doing some for friends and family. And I tried also entering some of my work into exhibitions. One exhibition, I spent 3 months working solidly on a body of work, but I sold absolutely nothing. I was so devastated. But at this point, I was also charging next to nothing as well. I didn't know much. And although I thought my drawings were pretty cool, I had no reference or anyone around that could tell me or that I could ask any other advice. I also at this point just always thought that it would be a side gig for me. I didn't think that it was a viable career option. And I was also so worried about what people would think of me if I quit my really stable job with a title that I had studied so hard for, which is just really silly looking back at it, but it's just the way I felt at the time. So I'm sure if you're here, you can probably relate to some of my early feelings. Give me a wave in the chat if you are. I love hearing from you if you are relating to me. I don't feel alone in these things. So some of those feelings that I did feel were, I doubted people would even want to buy my work. I worried people would judge me for raising my prices and also quitting my good, stable job. I worried that any money I spent on my business would just be money down the drain and that it wouldn't help me actually grow. I also really didn't want to become a cringy salesperson and lose all of my values just to make money. So before we jump in, I thought I would mention that to have great success in a business like this, It is really hard work, but there is a really simple way to manage that hard work so that you can make sure the hard work actually turns into income for you and your family and also helps you get to the life that you actually want to lead. The way to do that is to make sure that you're not just doing the creative work, but the behind the scenes work as well. So you might have to sacrifice a couple of hours of art creation here and there, but if you learn to sacrifice them for the right things, which I'm about to show you, you'll end up in a place where you can make for the power of making, and you're going to get paid exactly what you need to as well. Okay, cool. So let's get stuck into the secrets, all the juicy stuff. If you haven't downloaded the workbook from the email that I sent today, don't worry, I will have my VA just pop it in the chat for you and you can download it straight from there or just watch it on the screen as well. Don't stress about it not being printed. It's very easy to follow along. So the first secret that I want to take you through is the fundamental ingredients that you need in your creative business. As I go through them each briefly, if you could just go through and tick which ones you're currently doing in your business, it doesn't matter how much you are doing them, just go through and do a quick audit and see where you're at. It's probably my guess that you are mostly doing the work side of things, maybe some of the marketing and probably a little bit on each other one, but who knows? I will get to know your business soon, hopefully. So, outreach, the first one here, I feel like so many of us are a little bit allergic to this word. It feels very salesy. And I remember back when I first started, a part of me was always like, do I have to? But I really need to be clear. Outreach is so insanely powerful. It has got me my biggest jobs and my biggest connections in my career just from putting myself out there and asking. I worked with Trade Me New Zealand, which is a really large company in New Zealand, similar to the likes of Gumtree in Australia. And I worked with them just because I did a deep dive for someone who worked in the marketing department. I found the email, created a pitch presentation with some of my past work in it, and I just sent an email to this person introducing myself and what I do. And it turned out to be just the perfect timing. I did a huge custom corporate gift for one of their departments, and it worked out to be an over $12,000 job, which was my biggest at the time. And this was all just from me approaching them. Realistically, though, I do want to be completely transparent. There is so many times when I don't get replies, like a lot. But there are some really creative ways to pitch yourself to different people. And you just never know if you hit their inbox at the perfect timing for an upcoming project they're working on, and you may just time it absolutely right. I think a key rule here that we need to remember, though, is in the creative world, generic just doesn't cut it. If you have a certain style or flavor to your work, really make sure you spend time thinking, how could you answer a problem for that particular client or customer? People are really quick to see through the BS. And I also think that our best projects are just ones that are completely unique and they don't look like anything people have seen before. And I'm not saying spend hours on a pitch, but if I was sending a cold call to someone that I wanted to work with, I would spend about an hour coming up with a creative, fun idea that would work in collaboration with them. I also don't believe you have to do work for free in this space. If you have enough examples of your work, use that to back up your pitch. And potentially you could do a quick sketch if that was helpful as well. I do this all the time now. I just use all of my body of work as an example, a really quick sketch and a little blurb about what I could do for them. And that is usually actually enough. Sometimes Scrappy can work really well. It's pretty much just about them seeing that you've understood their values and researched them and that you actually care about who they are. Then they'll see that you're worth working with. Another ingredient that you need is marketing. The reality is, to be successful in your own creative business, we have to embrace being a salesperson. It's a sucky reality when all we really want to do is create. But there are ways that you can do this and have fun with it and get noticed in new and exciting ways. I'll be touching on this in the third secret I'll be sharing in a little while. There are so many different avenues for marketing, and I know from personal experience it can be really challenging to figure out which ones to put your energy into because we all know that it can be really, really exhausting. At the moment, I use Instagram, Facebook, TikTok very loosely, and email marketing. Each avenue targets different demographics for me and different clients and customers as well. I try to focus my marketing each week on 5 key topics. So I start with behind the scenes. So that's showing the workings of my business and showing a little bit about who I am. The second one is teaching. So I love sharing about what I've learned over the years, partly why you're here. The third would be showing me actually doing my art. So that's a lot of drawing and actually hands-on work. The fourth is touching on my past work and my prints that I have on sale. So this could mean your services or how you sell yourself and what you want to sell to your customers. And then fifth, I label as pretty picture. So this just means an image or two that I love that demonstrates my work in a beautiful, more polished way. So I will just touch on that first one just a second, because the behind the scenes stuff, I completely get it if you don't want to show your outside of work life much. I'm someone that doesn't share their personal life on their business Instagram, and it's completely up to you. I can give you some really good tips on how you can still really connect with your audience without showing your whole personal life. But everyone's going to be really different in that area. So hit me up and I can absolutely share how I try and do that my best way. So because of these 5 topics, some people do call them content pillars. It means that it takes out my initial thinking and planning a lot. It gives me a really strong direction from the get-go and just saves me a whole bunch of time. So the brutal truth is, if you aren't currently spending a good amount of time on a good amount of time on marketing your work, it's highly likely that your growth will take a really long time, because otherwise we are actually just waiting for people to stumble across us. The next ingredient that we have, I think, is fundamental to have in our business is called have a clear story. And what I mean by this is, how is my business portrayed by people? What overall story does my business paint? How do the colors or the way I speak on social media come across? Is it always the same or does it change? The experience that you want to give your client needs to be reflected in your packaging, in the quality of your products, how you speak in your emails, and how you speak on your videos, your coloring, your logos, your website. It all completes an experience for someone who's hiring you or buying your work. And I can tell you now that if you create an experience that is so beautiful and unforgettable, you will absolutely be able to charge so much more than you already do. Having a clear story throughout your brand, so that means your business and your products, will give your work a legitimacy, and it will also allow people to be more willing to spend money on you. It's like when you see a fancy piece of artwork in a fancy gallery with champagne and hosts, and it's on the wall for $40,000. Most people who appreciate art will probably go to that gallery and look at it and go, wow, that's worth $40,000. But in a different setting, or if it came in a different package, people may not believe that it's worth what's on the price tag. People's idea of value is often backed up when they see that a high-priced item is reinforced by its packaging, matching the way you speak, your website, everything you do. And so everything you do with the art, it all tells a clear collective story. This stuff really, really matters. When I first started, I didn't have a website, I didn't have business cards, and I didn't even have bubble wrap to wrap my first artwork up when I delivered it to my first client, which is just ridiculous now that I think about it. But you will all be so much further along than that But I know that that experience for that particular client was so much less. And even though the work itself was still a really great piece of art, they didn't come back to me and order more art. And I do believe that that experience is a whole part of it. Cool. So the boring stuff, process and legal. This is pretty straightforward, but this is where I stress to put in processes right from the start when it comes to your accounting. Making people pay deposits up front for your work and also having contracts in place, even if they're just really small contracts as well. Don't feel overwhelmed by it all. People are used to coming across T's and C's every day. And to be honest, it also backs up your legitimacy. People will more likely be like, oh, wow, she must know what she's talking about. They won't actually turn their noses up at it. And if they do, they're not your people. But in terms of your accounting, we all start somewhere, and it is my own opinion that you don't necessarily have to have an accountant when you start out if you can't afford it. But what I would do is track every single expense on a spreadsheet as you spend it each day. Don't wait for the end of financial year and gather up your receipts. Trust me, do it as you go. You will thank me later, I promise. Also, all the deposits that you have for your artwork should just be a non-negotiable. So deposits for commercial work or commission work just has to be a must. This is a standard practice across the whole design world, really, and no one bats an eye at it. It's to safeguard your time in advance, to help with your overheads leading up to a project, and it also means that the client is 100% invested in working with you. So there's just no wasted energy or time. I have a lot more to say on that topic. That isn't completely boring, but I will be going more into that in the course that I've created as well. So we can dive into that later. And finally, the last ingredient is obviously the work, which I know you're all killing it at. I've been following a lot of you now for the last week that have sent me their handles, and it's just so cool to see. But a real revelation that I have had over the last few years is that the timing around how much creative work I should be doing versus the work on the business was really skewed for some years. So that leads me to my second secret. The second secret I want to take you through is time blocking your way to more dollars and looking at how we can best separate our time to accelerate our earnings and to keep our businesses growing. So I want to start by doing a time audit. This is in your workbooks as well. So if you do have them close by, just try and grab it if you can. So everyone is going to be at different stages. I want you to write down how many hours on the left there, roughly how many hours that you spend on your creative business per week. So this is your total. So that's everything, including all of your admin and all of your creative artwork as well. Then on the right-hand side, I want you to estimate how much of that total time that you are spending on each category. So we just went through them all, but I'll quickly mention them as you're kind of jotting things down. So the outreach will be any cold calling, any competitions you're entering, any networking events you go to, etc. The marketing includes all of your social media, all email marketing, any Pinterest or LinkedIn posts, any of that kind of thing. Having a clear story, so that is any work you spend on packaging or upgrading your products, working on templates, or how your business and your brand is perceived by others. Process and legal, so that's any bookkeeping, accounting, or invoicing. And of course, how much time you spend on your actual creative work, which I assume will probably be the highest. So if you flip your page over after you've finished that, I have put 3 examples of how I actually split my time over the years. So I myself did a little audit of my years in business. And when I first started, which was in my first 1 to 2 years, I was working full time. So I was probably only able to allocate about 10 to 15 hours of time to my artistic business. At this point, it was a side hustle, and I really wasn't sure that I even wanted to make it full time. But I probably would have spent about 90% of my time on my artwork, and only about 5% on my marketing, with very small amounts of my time split on outreach, processes, and my overall business story. I noticed a small amount of growth in the 3 to 5 year period, but I still believed deep down that my work was the most important thing and that everything else had to come second. This meant that my time still looked pretty similar, but I probably decreased my art time to about 85% and upped my marketing time to about 10. On reflection, I do want to note that having heaps of time for your work on your art and business is amazing, but everyone's got different amounts of time available to them. And I do think in the early years, it's more about being smart with that time. So if you're wanting to grow, it's just looking at these splits and trying to be smart with it. So when I went full time in that last pie chart there, I gradually changed into more of a model that looked like 50% of my time on actual art, 30% of my time on marketing, 20% on outreach, trying to actively get new clients, and then 10% on my story and my processes. This has honestly skyrocketed the amount of people that want to see my work, that want to buy my work, and gives them also a really clear and professional view of what my business is. So from this, they ultimately trust me more and they want to work with me more, and they return as well because I've created a whole experience for them around it. I am not telling you this, though, to overwhelm you or make you feel like you're not doing enough. I just hope that it can show you that in my experience, how you split your time, it really does correlate to the amount that you can earn and the types of clients that you can get eventually if you're trying to grow. I also never thought that I would be earning this kind of money with this kind of flexibility and excitement to go to work. So I just hope you know that this is just so possible, and it's really the whole reason why I'm here talking to you guys. I won't go into it too much now, but I will show you soon how I'll be able to hold your hand with really growing your business way, way faster than I did, because you'll have all the tools mapped out by me, and I'm going to hold your hand through it all. So we will talk about that a little bit later. Okay, so if you flick to the next page in your workbooks or just have a wee look on the screen, I really wanted you guys to walk away with a strong sense of something you might be able to change week to week from now on to gradually move towards scaling your artistic business. Because as I've said before, it is so possible. So based on the demand for your work or services, we're going to look at how you can best split your time to really accelerate your business towards making more money and eventually quitting that job of yours and taking it full time. Right, so none of these are bad places to start. Let's just lay that out. We all start somewhere, trust me. If your work is currently in low demand or you're in a slow season of selling, often we try to put our head down, ass up, and do as much creative work as possible. It feels like, wow, great, I have all this space to do this. Let's fill it with the fun stuff. But if I'm honest, this is where you have all the time to put in the grunt work so that you, in the future months, can start earning good money. So in this space, I would split my time 40% marketing and 60% actual creative time. If you have medium demand, so things are quite steady for you, you will be having to spend some time on your admin to keep things moving. So I would still recommend keeping your actual creative time to about 60% and your admin and marketing split in the final 40. And finally, if your work is in high demand, this is where your creative time does decrease a little bit. Your marketing stays at 30% and your admin probably goes to about 20%. In this space, it is also likely that you will be steadily increasing your prices too, and diversifying your product range or services, and you're potentially also looking at some passive income streams as well. At first glance, you'll think that, well, if I'm doing less creative work, then I will be paid less. But I can almost guarantee you will be earning more at this point for doing less because of the ingredients you've implemented. So take a look at that and ponder it this week where you might sit and maybe what you could change incrementally. If you get a little fright when you're doing the calculations and you think, oh man, only 9 hours out of the 15 will I be doing my art? Trust me, this is for the long game. And if you do want to go back to my pie charts on the previous page, you'll see that I'm living proof that if you don't change things for years, you can expect your business not to change either. So it's all about what you put in. I also wanted to quickly touch on some of the hard truths that will happen if you don't implement the right timing or ingredients. And these are things that I can reflect that happened to me as well. So you'll remain frustrated that you're working really hard continuously, you're unable to increase your prices because you're ultimately not growing. You will end up having a lot of great artwork completed, which is amazing, but no one to sell it to. You will continue to work at your art on the side and not take it full time. You also won't be legally legit, which can really lead to a lot of issues down the road if you do start to make big money. Some of the things, though, that will possibly happen if you do implement these things, you will start to feel confident in your business, allowing you to focus on the creative stuff while growing. You will also have all your processes locked in, which leads to a really amazing customer experience and a steady stream of clients, ultimately more money as well. And you won't burn out as well because all of your time will be spent efficiently and you'll have more certainty around future clients. The third secret that I want to take you through is how you can make passion your superpower. This secret gets me so excited, you have no idea. I use it all the time. It is something that I've used a number of times that both benefits me as a creative, but it also has the potential to get you some of your dream clients. So again, in your workbook, the next page will have a wee exercise, and I want you to think about each of these little points that you can enter into in isolation. So all of these categories that you fill in, they don't have to be related to one another. So just to start, the first top one there is it's put in what you love. So this could be hobbies, your obsessions, your activities, anything to do with your personal life, whether that's like running or baking, anything like that. Then I want you to think about in the next category there, who you most want to work with and what they're interested in. So for example, it could be, I know you really love Cartier jewelry or fancy handbags. So that would mean that they are into luxury, champagne, red carpets, fancy cars, that kind of thing. So that's what you'd put in that area. And then the last one is super easy. So that's just your artistic style. Whatever makes you unique, whether that's watercolor, crochet, photography, acrylics, anything like that. So where all of these things intersect is where I believe you can harness a superpower that is so unique and something that you not only love working on, but that will get you noticed as well. So I'm going to give you an example of something that I'm actually currently working on and how I would personally fill this exercise out. So I love all sport. I love playing it. I love watching it. I love supporting it, everything about it. Health and fitness is a really huge part of my life. So in that top part, I would put sport. When it comes to my dream clients, I have so many, but one I have on my current wish list is Nike. Now I know both of mine are linked, but they don't have to be. This is just a coincidence. And I can give you some examples later on if you like, if you are struggling with that. So in that second bit there, Nike, I would say are interested in wellness, health, basketball, motivation, and all of those kind of things. And then lastly, of course, my artistic style is using black and white illustration to tell stories using imagination and architecture. So what I did was I went out and I bought a couple of Nike basketballs to have them at home, and I am painting them out the back to have all of my art covering them, telling motivational stories that Nike align with. It is not only a super fun exercise for me, but I'm immediately I have an amazing eye-catching bit of content for my social media and my website. These images will look super unique because it's not something that people usually do or see. And I get to tag Nike in every post that I do. And probably knowing me, I will email them with a pitch showing what I've done because I'm just like that. But I don't know how you guys will do it. I don't see this as doing work for free due to how it works for you on so many facets. So it's going to work for your social media. It's going to have potential for virality. Again, we really don't want to chase this, but these kind of intersections of such unique, fun, different projects really have a chance to go viral and hit on different people that you otherwise would never have reached out to or touched. It creates really fun pitches. It's great for reaching out to clients, but it's such an easy and fun way to both target clients and tease your creative brain to keep you excited. So going a whole nother step, I went and bought the other day an NFL American football and a surfboard. I do not surf, but I bought a surfboard and I will be painting those and tagging Quicksilver and Billabong and all of those types of people. People love a series. So if it takes off, carry it on. Creating a series around these things can really intersect with people that you want to work with. And it's honestly where the magic lies. Hope you love that one because it's my favorite. It also counts as your marketing. So if you just get creating, you can use that as a part of your marketing too. So I just thought I'd touch on briefly. Here are some of the jobs that I have gained through implementing my triple threat strategy that I've shared tonight. They range from crazy sculptures for amazing charity causes to luxury fashion collaborations to so many murals. I actually just booked my largest one yet, which I'll be installing in September, which was for over $25,000. And it blows my mind. It's a lot of money, but I can honestly say that this is possible. I started by earning less than $10 an hour. So I hope that you hear me when I say I talk about actual money figures to really try and take the yuck away from it all. I feel like we're just so allergic to talking about what we earn and how much we charge, but whether that's a little or a lot, it should never be something to be shy about. The more we talk about it, the more that we'll all be valued and the more our clients will also be educated on how much we're worth. So just to review the triple threat strategy that I make sure I implement into my business to grow is the fundamental ingredients. So making sure you have all of these ingredients in your creative business. That's outreach, marketing, having a clear story, process and legal, and of course your work or your creativity. The ideal time blocking to earning more money. So that's splitting your time in the best way between marketing, admin, and creating. And then the third is making passion your superpower. So combine what you love, your style, and your dream clients to find some magic. I hope this has been super, super helpful to give some insights into what has worked for me in growing my business. From a small side hustle to a full-time career, I truly do believe that if you implement some of these strategies, that you'll have a great shot at accelerating your earnings and being able to do a job that you love with flexible hours that work for you. It's honestly so possible. So if you can, I would love to know if any of you would like to know more and deep dive further. Again, the chat is popping off. It's so awesome to see. I wish I could respond to every single message, but give me a wave if you'd love to hear a little bit more of a deep dive or some information further. I would love to hear from you. So before I show you everything that is in my next incredible course, I have to be upfront because this course isn't for everyone. This course isn't for you if you expect to quit your job tomorrow. The course is not for you if you aren't willing to sacrifice some time for growth to gain your dream life later. This is probably not for you if you're just starting your business out this year, although I can direct you to the right people for that kind of period of your life. This is not for you if you are afraid to step out of your comfort zone and embrace new challenges. It might not fit your mindset. and if you don't want to put in the time or energy into changing your career trajectory. This is for you though, if you want to quit your day job, but you don't know where to start. If you feel really frustrated that your dream clients aren't coming to you for work, if you've sent out your proposals and you feel like you're being ghosted, you're guessing your way through pricing and quotes, which is the biggest bugbear of us all, isn't it? You want personal one-on-one advice and actionable plans to expand and grow your business. And you feel ready to commit to taking some calculated risks in order to see the full potential of your creative business. The course is called Passion to Profession, and it's a 6-week mentorship course where I'm going to walk alongside you and what makes your business unique. And I'm going to teach you everything I have learned over the last 8 years of my business to get you moving confidently to a point where you will be able to take your art full time. I'm so excited about this course. And before I explain exactly what you'll get as a part of this mentorship course, I thought I would sneakily say that anyone that does sign up while this masterclass is on tonight will get a free one-on-one hour-long personal mentoring session with me as a follow-up at the end of the course. So what this means is that we can tie up all of the loose ends, we can really get into the nitty-gritty and make sure that everything that you've learnt over the last 6 weeks is fully tailored to you and fully actionable. I'm also going to chuck in a sneaky 20% off code in there as well. So if you do choose to enroll, pop it in the chat. I would love to celebrate with you and give you a little shout out as well. Perfect. So if you do want to sign up, I've just had that link popped in the chat now, so you can go directly to check that out and enroll if you want. Here is what you'll get if you enroll in this founding members launch. Passion to Profession will have limited spaces. I really want to keep the group small just so we can really get down to the bones of what makes your business tick, and we can really accelerate it into actually making it your full-time profession. If you've been around for any of my custom commission launches, my spots do go super quickly, and I know this is a little bit different, but I never know how these things are going to go. So if it's anything like that, make sure you get in quick. So the modules, here's just a brief overview of what we will go through. There will be weekly live catch-ups with everyone so that we can learn from each other, in the course. We'll start with a one-on-one mentoring with me as well. Each week, we're going to uncover a new module, some of which I have lightly touched on today, and altogether there are going to be about 27 video lessons that will help coach you through every element of what's going to help you eventually quit that job of yours, because we know it's possible. The modules we're going to unravel together weekly are called Dream Client Hustle. So this first one is where we're going to unlock all of the secrets to pitching, cold calling, selling on social media while staying true to your values and who you are, and also knowing when to pivot as well. So by the end of that week, you will have a practical plan to get your next 100 clients, and I'll personally be handing you all of my customizable templates that I use in my cold calls and my emails as well. Week 2 is called Marketing Mojo, where we're going to accelerating your marketing game across various social platforms without it being a complete chore. You're going to gain practical steps to increase your brand visibility without spending a ton of money. And you'll be able to steal my pitching and quoting templates to help you have the best shot to landing your dream clients. We'll also be looking a little bit about when to choose to be professional and when to be approachable, which can be quite a hard line to ride, especially in the social media and marketing atmosphere at the moment. Week 3 is Sell Your Story. So here we're going to learn how to harness storytelling to present your business and product successfully. This week, we're going to create and perfect your elevator pitch, your packaging, your branding, and this will craft a consistent and unforgettable experience of your business that connects with your clients and your audience. Week 4 is called Cash and Contracts, where we work through all of the complexities of contracts, when they're needed, how to enforce them, when to enforce them. or when you need them. We're going to learn tips and tricks to ensure that there is a stress-free tax time, and I'm going to teach you all of my bookkeeping that I do through the year on a budget. You'll be able to steal my contract template so you never have to write your own. And this week you will walk away really equipped with the tools to run your creative business smoothly and professionally while safeguarding it for the future. Week 5 is called Price Like a Boss, and this week is a huge week. You will learn the mastering of art of pricing. So we're going to be working through all of your creative work so that you can come out with a huge confidence on exactly how to price stuff. You're going to gain insights into setting the initial prices with practical templates, pricing examples, and quote templates as well. And we'll look at how to incrementally raise your prices and how to create a demand for your work as well. This module will also cover cost management, invoicing structures, and negotiating boundaries with friends and family, which can be a very challenging one. And I know that we all actually deal with that in a big way as well. It's such a juicy week, and I know it's one of the biggest pain points for people. So you're going to walk away with actual hard figures of how you should price, how you can scale those prices, and we talk through specifics of certain jobs in the commercial and selling landscape that it's just so that you know exactly how you should quote on your next inquiry. Week 6 is where I call bonus secrets. And this is where I uncover when to focus on growth versus staying grounded and actually doing the hard work. You're going to define your ideal 10 out of 10 day and follow my practical weekly plan that I use to achieve sustainable growth. You're going to be able to learn from all of my personal mistakes, and we're going to explore practical tools to streamline your creative process. This week, we will also workshop through how you can practically work towards quitting your day job and what that might look like for you personally in your life. There's going to be a live element to this course, which essentially means that you get direct business coaching with me, 24/7 hotline to message me anytime and ask questions. We're going to work through the projects that you personally have and things that you're struggling with as well. The course will start with a one-on-one Zoom call with me, where we basically just sort your stuff out. We're going to organize your goals, and we're going to also look at everything that's so specific to you. Then each week, as a module is released online, you'll get the chance to sit down with me and all of the other students in the live Zoom workshop each week for the 6-week program. So here you can ask questions, get feedback, and they are all going to be recorded and have replays sent so that if you are unable to make it, you can still join in on the fun and we can have all of your questions answered as well. It's going to be completely online. Each module will be completed in your own time, and you'll also have lifetime access as a founding member as well. I don't want this course to feel like a time burden on you. There are only approximately 4 to 8 videos in each module, which will range from 20 to 40 minutes in total. I have also all of the templates there that you'll be able to steal in every single method that I use in my business currently. If you've been around for a while, you may know that I just love to share what I've learned. And along the way, these are some of the wonderful words that people have said about me, helping them in their business and in their creativity. You don't have to be an artist to do this course. I have previously helped coach illustrators, artists, graphic designers, and photographers as well. So all of these methods I teach are applicable across the board. There are 3 options to invest and enroll in this course. And yes, we do have 2 affordable options. So the most affordable option works out to be about $50 a week, which I think is pretty damn good. Or you can opt for the one-off payment, which works out to be $300 cheaper in the long run there. I have recently actually signed up to a business mentoring course myself, and I honestly cannot stress to you how much having a business coach in my life has changed my business. Shout out, Georgia. I see you. I know you're on the call. Having someone who's been there and done that has just been so invaluable for me, and it takes all of the guessing and time wasting out of it. I seriously wish that I'd done it sooner, but I do understand that when financial pressures are on board, it is something you have to mull over quite a lot. My hope is, though, that I can be this mentor for you over the 6 weeks and that we can absolutely nail how to grow your business. But because I love you all and I'm so, so thrilled that you came to my first masterclass, I am giving you all a discount, like a whole 20% off. So that's like $360 off. This will only be available for the next 7 days. So make sure that you just really get thinking quick. I'll pop it in the chat now. I just see that it's popped up now so that you can access it directly, each of those payment plans, including that full discount. I also do want to honor all of your time and spending your evening with me. So for those of you who do decide to take action tonight, as I mentioned before, if you sign up before the end of the class, you will get that free follow-up one-on-one with me. So the final deadline for that will be at the end of this class. Remember to let me know because I would love to hear from you. Okay, so Q&A time. I had a few sent through to me ahead of time, so I'll answer those. But if you do have any burning questions, please pop them in the chat and I will try and answer them as best as I can. I will preface this by saying I really want to do the questions justice. So if there are some that are a bit sticky and I really want to get right, I will be doing a video tomorrow to really answer them properly for you. Cool. So there's a few questions about business in general and a few about the course. So I'll jump right in. The first one here, when should I invest in a website? When did it make a difference to my business and my sales? So my advice is immediately invest in a website. I personally use Squarespace, which is such a great option, but some people do opt for Wix or Shopify. I have found Squarespace to be the best personally. It's super easy, has very amazing templates you can customize with no design experience at all. If you don't have a website, it's really hard for your commercial clients to find you and take you seriously. Think of your website like your official professional contact. And your Instagram or social media is just really your proof of life. It's where people see your work and that you're a real person, you're active and you're working. But we can't rely on it alone to be our marketing. It also means there's actually no way to capture people's email addresses, etc., which is the amazing thing about websites as well. So the second question, when should I diversify versus sticking to and growing one area or product? So diversifying is great. I would probably aim to nail one product or service in the first year. And then from then on, try to even explore a new one each year following. It's ultimately about testing though. So you have to be really ready to pivot if it isn't working for you. Just because you try one out doesn't mean you have to stick to it. I think there is a difference between diversifying your products and diversifying who you're targeting. Sometimes it's best to focus on one target audience or really hone in on one type of client. But having different income streams and products is really great. For example, my income is earned through prints, commissions, murals, digital art, licensing, and now courses and teaching. How much time per week do I need to put aside for this course? I'm super busy with my personal life. I absolutely get that. I have made the course so that the modules are released weekly and that it can be done in your own time to fit around your lives. So the actual video modules, as I mentioned, will range from 20 to 40 minutes each week. So that's 20 to 40 minutes of lessons each week with the accompanying templates. There will also be a live element that will be for 1 hour each week that we will all kind of work out what timing works best. And obviously how much you put in to like the background work of the course will impact on how much you get out of the course. But I would recommend probably spending an hour each week on top of the video lessons to really digest and look at how you can activate each of the things you've learned. I will be there holding your hand, so there is so much time for questions. And if you didn't notice, there will be also a 24-hour hotline to ask me anything. So that means a direct line of communication over that 6 weeks where I will give you all of the honest feedback, advice, and I'll help you in whatever you need or whatever projects you're working on as well, whether it's to do with the course content or not. I can't really afford it right now. Are there other options? No worries. I completely get that. And that is why I did the payment plan. So I was always back in the day looking at these kind of things and wondering if it was going to pay off. I can tell you now that whenever I've invested in growing my business from other people that have done it before, it's paid for itself tenfold. So that is why I made both a 6-month and a 12-month payment plan, and also why I've given you the 20% discount, because I really just want you to get the most out of this course. I can't make the live sessions each week. Is this course for me or even worth it? Yes, absolutely, it's for you. All of the live sessions will be recorded, and you can even pre-register questions with me that you want me to answer on the call so that you can watch it back later on. The lives are really valuable because we get to actively learn off of each other and all of the other creatives in the group. It becomes a really cool, amazing group of encouragement, and everyone will be also at different stages. So no one will feel left out or ahead or behind. We're all going to be at different stages. So it's a really safe space to bring anything to the table. Quick one there. I'm not from New Zealand. Is this course applicable to me? Yes, absolutely. All the content is applicable around the world. Even the cash and contracts area will be relevant. You can ask me personal questions about the GST and tax in New Zealand if you're from New Zealand, but otherwise all of the course content will apply to you. I'm hesitant in investing money in another course. How can I be sure it's worth it? Yeah, as I said before, I completely understand that. When you're starting out, your business money is really precious. But unlike generic courses, this one is tailored specifically for artists and creatives, which I often these kind of courses don't actually have these specific struggles that creatives in the world kind of uniquely experience. It's not the same as e-commerce or those business courses that you can take. So we really get into the nitty-gritty of what's required for us as creatives to succeed. It's a really different ball game, and all of the insights and practical strategies that I will be teaching, I've used myself and I've tested over the last 8 years as well. It's taken me from a very small side hustle to a full-time artist and creator, earning a lot more than I would have if I'd stayed in my corporate job. So I want to help you get to that point as well. Each one-on-one session is also going to be completely tailored to what you want and need. So these will be treated as business mentorship sessions and will be focused completely on you and assisting the unique goals of your business. How do you start the process of doing commissions? So if I was completely starting out again and trying to launch my commissions, I think this question is more about if you have, say, prints and you've never done commissions for people before, how you get into that. So I would start by finding a niche. So what that means is, let's say you're an acrylic artist, you would decide to potentially focus on something like bright floral artworks. It doesn't mean that you will do this forever. It just gives people a direction. It also gives you immediately an audience. The people who absolutely love flowers will be drawn to your work and feel a connection with it, and they'll spread the word in their group of people who also love bright floral artwork. From here, I'd produce a few pieces of work within this niche or this focus, and then I would market the crap out of it. So make sure you film the whole thing, the whole process from color mixing to buying the canvas to all of your decision making. Explain everything. People are intrinsically nosy and they love behind the scenes stuff. And yes, also pop on your Instagram or your website, open for commissions. Market yourself by saying, what flower would you have on your home, etc. Once you build up a good base of people, you will find they'll ask not just for flowers. You'll be able to branch out yourself and target other people. I think the problem is sometimes we start by trying to target everybody, But really what that does is it makes it really hard to sell because people don't actually know what you're about. This is a juicy question. Should I give my digital copies over, should I give over digital copies of my artwork to clients to print themselves? I personally never give over digital copies. I understand the want to give the clients their control and the personal choice over things, but the dangerous part of this is that you're essentially handing over how your products are ultimately presented, which then will be out in the world advertising you and your services possibly in a way that you don't like. I always control the printing on my end so I can make sure that it's the best quality. And if they want more prints at a later date, they can just come back to me. The thing I do give up control of is the framing. If people want things framed or unframed, I do have this as an option, and this just allows for a level of affordability. But it is something that I'm actually currently contending with because I find it really hard when people buy a great limited edition or original piece of art and then they jam it into a cheap frame. It just doesn't do it justice. So as a short-term fix, I have kind of worked up a beautiful little graphic design wee note that I put into each package to advise them on how they should frame it. But it's really hard when you're wanting to sell your art at both an affordable and valued range and make it look how you want it to look. And the last question I have registered was in regards to licensing, how do I structure wording about pricing, utilization of the images? Licensing contracts are tricky and they're all in the wording. So, but licensing contracts can get you a lot of money for not doing that much in the end. It can become a really good passive income. So hopefully this doesn't sound too wordy, but there are a few different ways to license your art. I'll go through them really quickly. First one is restricted licensing for non-commercial. So that's probably like allowing people to use it for birthday parties or wedding invites, those kind of things. There's restricted licensing for commercial. So that's a business that may want to use it on their newsletter or a billboard or something similar. Unrestricted licensing, which is essentially a copyright transfer, but you as the artist can also use this art and resell it yourself. Buyout licensing is similar, but you as the artist can't reuse the art or sell it commercially. Now, within those two there, you're also outlining exactly how they're using it. So what kind of marketing they're using it on, or how long they're using it on, how many t-shirts they're printing it on, etc. And then the last one is full copyright transfer. And this is a total surrender of all of your art. So if I was doing that personally, I would price through the roof for a total copyright transfer. It's a huge deal. All of them are quite complex, but I go through all of these in huge detail in the course as well. And together we can work through the best strategy for you personally, and licensing also will potentially become an awesome extra way to earn you passive income. I have some mini contracts that I'll also be able to hand you for this kind of stuff that I'll be sharing if you enroll in the course. Amazing. So that's everything that I have to say. We are at 7:34, which I'm so sorry I've gone over time. And I can't see any extra questions, which is all good. But if I do find some along the way, I will answer them on a video and Instagram on a story tomorrow. So just want to say a massive thank you for joining me tonight. It's been a real privilege to share with you, and hopefully you got something from that. I would love to see if you did. Tag me in an Instagram story or send me a message. And please, 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 if you do any passion projects, send me a link. I would love to fangirl over it. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon.